Welcome back to Morning Express. Always a pleasure to have you right here. And allow me to just refer to that fact I just saw, that apparently a mosquito has got 47 teeth. Now, I'm always left wondering who actually goes out to check out these things, and how do you factualize that? So do you like tell the mosquito, open your mouth, and then you count 1, 2, 3, 4. But anyway, interesting fact, apparently it has 47 teeth. But that's not what we're talking about here this morning. It's time for Tech Central. And on Tech Central, we look at some of the innovative things that people are doing out there to use technology. And today we're going to be talking about apps. But today it is an app that I'm sure many parents will be happy to know. It's to do with education. And let me introduce those who are going to be talking to us about that app. And next to me, I have a young girl, Imelda Mombi. Good morning, Imelda.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fine.
Good. And how old are you?
I'm 11 years old.
11 years old. It's always amazing that at some point kids are very happy to tell us their age. Then it gets to 18, 19 there, and suddenly it becomes an issue. But anyway, good to have you at 11. And we also have Kago Kagishiri. Okay, Kago Kagishiri, who's also going to be letting us know how this app works. And it's known as Shupavu 291. So let me start with you, Kago. What is Shupavu 291 and why that name?
So Shupavu 291 is the best way for your student to study. We created that name because Shupavu is, a Swahili word for someone who's like, eccentric, to hodari, someone who really just goes beyond the expectations. And these kids are, all over the place, and we're wondering how can we give those kids who are generally left out of the education sector because of resources, how do we give them access? So Shupavu 291 is a virtual classroom that works on any mobile phone. That is any phone, whether it's SMS.
Doesn't have to be a smartphone.
Doesn't have to be a smartphone. As long as the phone can call and SMS, then your student can learn. And the way it works is we've taken the whole curriculum and broken it down into its concepts and offered that on the phone. So whether you're using SMS or the web, you just dial *291#, and it's almost like you're talking to a virtual teacher. So we've mirrored it with technology, the way people use technology in the rural areas, which would be they know how to use SMS, and so it's almost like you're talking to a teacher. You register, you give your class, and then after that it walks you topic by topic through the class that you have registered with.
Now you've mentioned that you've installed the whole curriculum. Do you have different curriculums, or is it specifically the 844 system? Which curriculum does it have, or does it operate on?
Yeah, so I mean, something big in Kenya and what we're discovering in other African countries that we're going to is parents really want the local curriculum. We have a lot of educational services, but parents really want to know that this content that my student is doing is actually the same content that they're learning in class.
Correct.
And so we have the 844 curriculum here in Kenya, in partnership with Safaricom. And in other countries, we have the Ghana curriculum in Ghana, and we have the TCSE curriculum in Tanzania.
Oh, so it's not just, Shupavu 291 is not just an app that's being used in Kenya?
Yes, I mean, it's, our goal is to reach 50 million students in Africa. Because in every country you go, you always find kind of the smartphone connected students who have access to all the resources. But then you always find there are the people who are left out of that game. And our goal is to be able to reach those students and bring them to the same level as the ones who have as many resources, making education equal for all.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Kago, but let me hear from Imelda. Imelda, you've used Shupavu 291.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, how did you know about it? Were you playing a game, then you discovered an app?
No, it's that the Shupavu people came to our school in the year 2014 when I was in class 4. And because I had lost hope, I didn't have textbooks. My mother was not able to buy for me textbooks. I went and convinced her, and she agreed because she was not able to buy for me textbooks. And then when I started using Shupavu, I saw an improvement in my studies.
Wow, that is fantastic. So you've been using it since class 4?
Yeah.
What class are you in now?
I'm in class 6.
Okay. So how do you use it? Run me through it. What do you do when you get your phone?
When you get your phone, you just dial *291#. Then you access your name. After accessing your name, you access your class, school, and then you can start doing the quizzes.
The quizzes that are there.
Yeah.
Now, Kago, is this a replacement of a classroom? Because from what she's saying, you literally, doesn't have to buy textbooks now, I'm assuming, because she's using Shupavu 291. Is it a replacement of the classroom?
I wouldn't say it's a replacement of the classroom. I'd say it's something to augment what's happening in the classroom. If you take a modern day classroom today, you obviously have the teacher, and then you have 30 to 40 students on average. And the teacher is talking to these students, telling them, this is what you've learned, this is it, do your homework. The main reason for homework is for the students to get individual feedback. The problem with the system as we have it is that when you give that homework back to the teacher, that's teacher's work to mark the homework, and then after that, a teacher has to give you the feedback from the homework. And the problem with how homework is structured is you only get, that you are right or wrong, right? And after that, the students usually have kind of no more insight as to that. And so the way Shupavu augments this is, what happens is if a teacher is teaching algebra in class, for example, you can go home, you can text algebra to our shortcode, and you'll start receiving that content. When you're taking questions, and there are multiple choice questions like there would be in KCP, if you answer A and the answer is wrong, you actually get an explanation of why that specific answer is wrong. So we have created individual feedback right to that point of, what answer confused you and why that answer confused you. And we're able to replicate that across the whole curriculum. So students are not just getting extra textbooks and resources, but they're also getting that individual feedback, which sometimes teachers are too swamped to give.
Wow.
So it's not a replacement, but we do find that about 25% of our students are dropouts who, for example, couldn't pay or failed class 8, can't pay for a year of tuition, so they're taking content on Shupavu so that they can register for the exam and sit.
Okay, so would you say
year.
it's more like an application that you use for revision? You still have to go to class, you still have to learn whatever concepts are there, but Shupavu now comes in to help you with your revision?
Yeah, I mean, I think, in a way, people think it's a student app or it's a replacement for teachers, but I think it actually helps teachers silently. It's like, I like to say it's like Batman for teachers, in that, students are actually being helped by this virtual teacher so that the teachers' work in the classroom is easier, and they don't have to give as much feedback to students because in the background, Shupavu is able to actually pinpoint what are the problems that the students have, and the students can bring back much more clear questions to the teachers. So another aspect we have on Shupavu is that it's not just homework. Students are actually able to interact with live teachers that we have. So we have live teachers who are on standby from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. who actually answer students' questions. So if you ask a question, you can ask, what is science, all those things. And teachers actually engage with the students, not just to give them direct answers, but to actually help them kind of discover the answer in a step-by-step process. So there's the learning element, there's the interacting element. And as I said, because we've been able to create an SMS experience that's like the internet, you can be able to search for things on your SMS phone as if you are searching the internet. So for example, if Imelda sent Brexit, wiki Brexit, she can actually see what this Brexit that's being talked about is
it all about?
From Wikipedia. So it's really, it's not a replacement. I think it's the next level. You find that Facebook, Google, the government, all of them are trying to get laptops to people. They're trying to get the internet. And the way we looked at it is we say everyone has an SMS phone or access to an SMS phone. Let's use that to actually give them a rich experience that can mirror school and possibly in the future mirror other things that people would have to get more expensive devices and the internet to access.
All right, I think shortly we're going to just go to the screen there so that you can show us practically when you log in. For instance, there's a website as well, right?
Yeah, so we have the SMS app, we have a mobile web app, we have a Google Play app on the App Store, and we also have an app that works on your normal desktop browser.
Okay, we'll go shortly to the screen just to do that, but let me hear from Imelda. And Imelda, you've mentioned that you had lost hope in your schoolwork, and this has helped you improve. What exactly has improved?
In my academics, because before I started using Shupavu, I was getting 300 and below, but since I started using it, I always get 350 and above.
Wow, 350 as your average.
Yeah.
Are there specific subjects that maybe you can say have improved because of using Shupavu?
Mathematics, English, science, and social.
What do you think has improved your grades? Is it because the questions are easy to follow? Is it the teaching method that maybe Shupavu has? What do you think, what would you say has made you improve?
It is the teaching method that they use, because if you have a difficult question, which you can't answer it on your own, instead of disturbing people around, you can just take the phone and start using it in answering your questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll ask Cargo to join me just here on the screen, where I would like to literally just look at the website. I believe this is the website, right? And this is what you see when you get there. Maybe you can just run us through what this is.
This is our website that has our offering. So you can see we have
There's SMSs, there's a web, there's
SMS,
Android.
web to Android. If you actually go to our mobile web app, on the next tab, you should be able to see what it actually looks like.
That's it.
Yeah. So
I think if we can move it slightly this way, or terrific. Okay.
So if you scroll down, you can see here, this is a course on cash crops, I think.
Okay.
So, for example, we have a question here. Cash crop farming is a source of dash.
Just scroll up a
to
little bit.
people
I think
working
it should be A
in
to D,
plantations.
if I'm not wrong. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So the
let's
question.
actually answer. Let's answer this
Okay,
question.
so we'll do this
Give it a
practically.
shot.
The question here is: cash crop farming is a source of dash to people working in plantations. And I'll do this practically. Before you click on anything, cash crop, I'll ask, let me see, Paris, what would your answer be? We've got A, employment, B, revenue, C, income, or maybe let me ask Imelda. We want to do this practically. Cash crop farming is a source of dash to people working in a plantation. So for me, I would go for, let me hear Imelda, what's your answer?
My answer is income.
Income. Okay, so cash crop farming is a source of income to people working in plantations. And it says, have you clicked on income?
Yep, it says incorrect.
So
Income
that's an
is
incorrect answer. Income is earned from working. Cash crop farming is a source of employment to people working in plantations.
To be fair, it's a class 7 question, so
Okay.
it's a bit above the grade. But so that's an example if you get a wrong answer. So it actually
gives
tells
you the explanation.
exactly what the explanation is. So
Okay.
if some students actually guess the answers because, as you know, half any exam is purely guessing. So
Right.
if you guess the correct answer, it still tells you exactly why you're correct. So if we can answer this one, the government earns dash from taxes paid by cash crop farmers. You give it a go.
Okay, the government earns dash from taxes paid, I would say revenue. That my answer would be B. Let's try B. Woohoo! It says awesome. Revenue is the money. Also, the good thing with this is that it actually explains the answer as well. Revenue is the money earned by the government from taxes paid by cash crop farmers. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so it basically explains to you what the answer means.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else maybe we can learn from the
So
site?
if we just quickly circle through the next, if you just click the next answer.
Any.
Any answer there.
Okay. Click on employment.
Yeah. So it says nice try. If you scroll down,
Just scroll this
or
up.
scroll up rather.
Yeah.
So here we see what we call Finding Miss Mandizi. So Finding Miss Mandizi is a game that we've incorporated into the app. So as students are taking lessons, they're unlocking little clues as to how to find Miss Mandizi. And Miss Mandizi is Africa's first female supervillain. And 3 years ago, she stole $5 billion from the education fund. And so through the app, students are actually finding out where Miss Mandizi is. So it starts with her in Nairobi, and you can see that they're going through Korogosho, they're going through the slums, they're discovering where she is.
So let me just read this for those at home. I'm not sure they can see it, but it says, game story, delivered your first case, fire in Korogosho. So there's a fire in Korogosho in this particular case. I love the fact that it's also very contextualized. It's names and things that we can actually identify with. The villain is Miss Mandizi. I don't know why you picked on Mandizi, but anyway. Fire breaks out in the chief's office in Korogosho. We think it was set by Miss Mandizi. I knew Miss Mandizi Ashikwe to cover her tracks. you head to Korogosho slum in Nairobi and investigate. Take a lesson to solve this case. So what's the lesson here, okay?
Yeah, so you can retake a lesson, but for the purposes of showing you what else you can do, let's just go home. And when you go home, you can see, there's a number of things that students can do. They can continue lessons, they can change the subject. So we were doing cash crop farming, which is sciences. You can ask a teacher, and then you can go into my performance. So if we just go into my performance, for example.
Right there.
Yeah, we can see 4 things. So you can see your marks, you can see your daily goals, and then you can have a look at the top 10.
Okay.
So let's have a look at the top 10. Let's see who are the students who are using Shupavu. Hopefully they're watching and they're going to see their names up on this. So, number
Imelda
1.
Mombi is number 1. Congratulations, Imelda. I can see you're bright.
You're number 1 and you're
So these are the users of, and this is live. This
is live. This is live. So if Imelda stays here and doesn't take lessons, Bashir is going to come
over
for your position.
Okay, so basically this also helps you. It's kind of like a grading system so that you know how well you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the way we do it here, I mean, so, Shupavu believe, effort is more important than performance. So here, it's really the effort of the students, how many lessons they've taken for that day. And we don't really look at, who's smarter or not. We just look at how much effort students are putting in.
What's this 46? Is that the number
That's the number of lessons she's taken today.
She's taken today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just go back 2 steps. It's something I wanted us to try there. If we can just go back, go back 2 steps. My mark's another step, yes. Could we go to ask a teacher? Because this is now where you're interacting with a teacher who's there. Continue lessons, change subject. Ask a live teacher your question in different topics and get answers. Reply with your question. Okay, so how do I operate this?
So, so this, you would reply with your question right in the text box.
Right here?
Yeah, and you could ask, what are cash crops, for example.
Okay. What are cash crops?
Yeah.
And then
just hit reply.
Okay, and it takes a few minutes to load.
So now what's happening in the background is that it's going to the live teachers we have. So when the teachers are respond to your question, the response will come to you on SMS. So this is logged in with my phone number. So as soon as they reply, my phone number will
come to your phone, despite the fact that we're using it here.
Yeah. So even though we're using it on the web, we still register you to what we have on SMS, so that you also receive notifications to get the answers and come back to the app whenever. We have daily reminders to return to the app.
Okay.
Another thing we can go to is extras, for example. So in extras, so this is sort of the other part of the app that is also, teaching students how to do other stuff apart from just learning. So you can see here, they can search for a lesson, they can go back to the story that they just did, find Miss Mandizi. There's the encyclopedia, there's the calculator and the dictionary. So if we go into encyclopedia, for example, we can try search for something.
Okay. And this would be searching for pretty much anything.
Yeah. So let's see what do we want to.
Let's see what we can search. On an encyclopedia, you could really search for
anything. Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
Let's search for presidential elections USA.
Yeah.
Presidential elections. Careful with the spelling there. USA. Then this again will reply to your phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this will come here, but it will also send a reply to my phone.
Just reply and presidential election USA, presidential election.
So you just click on the
Utah.
first one.
Okay, click on the first one. Year 1 of the Julian calendar was a common year starting on Sundays, and I guess this is now giving us literally
like
the whole shebang of what the presidential election is all about. And that's pretty good because this is not just giving us what's happening now, but the history of it.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay, so interesting. Okay, that's really good. Anything else maybe we need to learn from here before we go back and sit?
If we go back to the previous page, so something else we can do. No, just go back to extras. Click on home at the bottom, or the icon. Click on the icon at the top. If we go to
this one.
It's this icon
right
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go to change course, So this is something else about our platform. So not only do we have primary and secondary courses, but we also have a teacher development course that we have built with the Kenya Primary School Heads Association. Before you click that. And then we also have a basic business course that folks like me and you can actually take. So the business course teaches you basic business skills. And we have made it simple enough as well for 14 to 18-year-olds to be able to understand. So you learn about things like, how can you get a loan? What are your options on M-Pesa? Which are the most stable banks that you can go to, for example, the national banks? What are the sort of limits that you can get from M-Shwari or from KCB M-Pesa, for example? I don't know if you know that KCB M-Pesa, for example, gives much higher loan limits. So, for example,
you can find that information.
You can find that information on the business course.
Is
So
that, let's just click on business and see what we can get from there. Complete 3 lessons per day and qualify for business course certificate after 19 days. What sort of certificate would this be?
So this would be a business certificate that's certified by NESA. The vision for this is we are starting to work with financial institutions to get a sort of educational scoring system. So, a financial institution who wants to certify you for a loan can check whether you've taken some sort of business accreditation, and that could increase your limit. And that's what we're doing with the business course. Those are the plans that we have for the business course. So, but for right now, what we are doing is we are just sensitizing people to things like financial management, what is a bank. A lot of the people in the rural areas are exposed to some of these concepts, but when you think about it, people under the age of 18 don't know this. And when you look at the home where it's usually the students who are teaching the mothers how to use the phone, how to use a camera. We imagine it's the same thing for financial education. Why can't Imelda be the one telling her mom, oh, by the way, did you know if you went to KCB M-Pesa, you can get a loan for 20,000, and I'm sure it would start you off with a limit of 2,000 and things like that.
Now, as we wind up, how do you ensure that Imelda and all the other students are actually doing schoolwork other than playing games? Because with this being an internet-based thing, and the phone could have games, how do you ensure that they're actually busy working on their schoolwork as opposed to playing games?
I think it's it's a mix, I think. Now, that goes back to community, right? I don't think it's just the responsibility of NESA to make sure students are playing games. What we have observed, though, is that, like, I don't know how young you are when the first phones came in, but I remember I would always ask my parents, can I use your phone? Can I use your phone? And all I could do was games. And now that there's an app for education, what we find is a lot of students are now asking for the phones from their parents because they know they can take education. With stuff like exam cheating, we find that a lot of things that students lack is not really the knowledge but the confidence. And so using a tool like this really boosts them up, their confidence up.
And it's available on any
it's available
store.
Yeah, it's available on any phone. It's available on the App Store. It's available on the internet. But the way that you can take it on your phone, it's only 10 shillings a week. That's charged once a week. And you can dial *291# to register yourself, register your student, register your friend, your neighbors, and we can all improve education in the country.
Thank you very much, Kago, Gashiri, and Imelda. In fact, Imelda, please come and stand here. I want you to be our anchor who's going to close, and you look at that camera there, camera 2, that's camera 2 there. So I want you to say goodbye to everybody and be the anchor that is closing the show today. From me, I've handed over to Imelda.
Okay, I want to thank all the people that were watching this channel, and also continue using Shupavu 291 as your studies. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you. Brilliant, and thank you for joining us. Otherwise, have yourselves a good day. God bless.